So I'm with the king of the box office, Ajay Bijli, the chairman and managing director of PVR. They're celebrating 25 years. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Happy silver anniversary.
Thank you very
How
much.
does it feel?
Feels good, but the way you introduced me, calling me a king doesn't feel good.
Well, you're going to be, you are already, and post the merger, which we'll talk about in just a bit.
I'm not comfortable with any title like that, but I'm absolutely humbled that we've been able to achieve 25 years of incorporating the company. And the first multiplex opened way back in 1997. This particular place was a single screen, still continues to remain a single screen. This opened in 1990 in its first avatar. So 32 years since we've been building cinema, so it's quite exciting.
This, of course, we are at the very first cinema that is there.
That's
For
right.
me also, it's like a trip down nostalgia lane because this is where we used to come. It was the only screen at that time.
Correct.
And it looked nothing like this.
Absolutely.
It's been really spruced up.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, so I want to ask you one question. I'm going to draw an analogy because you're in the movie business. So 25 years done, where are you in, if it was a movie? If your journey here is a movie, where are you in the movie?
Maybe it's not a movie. Maybe it's just a TV show.
The series after series?
Maybe one series has just got over.
So one season is over?
One season is over. Yeah, I mean, psychologically, one can say 25 years is a decent amount of time for a brand to be around. And of course, there's so many exciting things that still can happen from here on. India still continues to remain very under-screened. There's huge potential to grow screens in every nook and cranny. Tier 2 cities, Tier 3 cities they don't have a great cinema experience, and PVR is going there as well. Of course,
that's why also the merger with Inox.
Well, even without the merger, we are in lots of cities already now, and of course that will augment our presence even further in various cities and various states. But just to come back to your previous question, where do we go from here? Once there is no saturation that has been that is there either in the appetite for people to go out and watch movies, or for the country to have organized retail, and this is nothing but a part of the organized retail format. So rather than selling goods and services, we are selling movies. So yeah, we're going to be growing in leaps and bounds with the grace of God, and making sure that the number is not stuck at 850 today as it is at 900 by the end of the year, and after the merger 1500, but much more than that.
When is the merger expected to be completed?
Well, we just got our BSc and NSC approval, and it has to go through the process of NCLT and all. So let's say another 4-5 months, 6 months maybe.
Okay, so in 4-5 months it'll be a done deal?
Well,
it's a done deal, but I mean it'll be closed and
we
stuff.
have to just await the approvals.
What's the plan post the merger?
Post the merger, the company will be called PVR Inox Limited, and the current PVR Cinemas will remain PVR, the current Inox Cinemas will remain Inox, but any new properties that we open will be called PVR Inox. And that's really it. It will be a larger company, and I think we needed to do this because the pandemic really created a big dent on our balance sheets. So we thought that if we come together.
But you bounced back so strongly since COVID. If you look at the last quarterly results, you've beaten where you were in pre-COVID. If you look at the revenues, the profit, the EBITDA.
Yeah, well, God's been kind. If you see my interviews even during the pandemic, you will notice that I didn't put my chin down. I still had belief in the medical fraternity, that they will find a solution to the pandemic. Of course, the whole world got devastated, and it was not that anybody was expecting, but I still believe that the medical fraternity will come out with a solution and control, and it did. Also, I believed in the Indian market. I believed in the Indian consumer a lot, because the number one form of entertainment is still going out of home and watching movies, and the film fraternity, which is making about 1,500 films a year. And it's not just Indian films, Hindi films, it's also regional Malayalam, Telugu, Kannada, and Tamil, Bengali. In fact, tomorrow Bengali movie is also getting released called Bomkesh. So Punjabi. Diversity of content and the quantity of content is what keeps us going. So believed in that.
And right now also it's interesting you're saying that because the Bollywood movies have not been doing that well at the box office or the way they used to do.
It's only 3 months. I just think that everybody's got this habit. If Virat Kohli doesn't score century in 2 innings, he's not a good player anymore. If 3 movies don't do well, Bollywood is not good anymore. I mean, this is...
So you don't buy this trend that right now?
Not at all. Not at all. It's content, even pre-pandemic, content is what gets connected with the consumers. So if the current content in the last 3 months, some of them have not connected, it's okay, but Gangubai did well, Kashmir Files did well, the Hindi versions of RRR, the Hindi versions of KGF, they did very well. This Bhool Bhulaiya 2 did very well. We've got 2 big movies coming up now, which are, Lal Singh Chadda and Raksha Bandhan, and the advances are fabulous. It's too early to renounce.
Is it too early? No, it's too early to renounce.
Only 3 months.
Yeah, but is it too early to call a trend about the admiration for the movies from the South?
No, nothing. Even South movies are doing well even earlier. Bahubali did better than RRR. Bahubali did better than KGF 2. So so they're also South movies. Kamala Hassan, Rajnikant, all these actors have been doing very well for the longest time. So it's just that post-pandemic, suddenly, there was this appetite for people to, go out and watch something larger than life. They were captivated or in captivity in their homes, and then they were captivated when they saw something, a big spectacle, and it did well. Those movies are very good as well. It's just what connects and what doesn't connect with the consumer is what makes a movie do well or not do well.
Okay, so too early to call a trend, and there is no trend when it comes to the admiration.
I can't even imagine calling it a trend. I can't even imagine going there.
It's so far-fetched.
Too far-fetched. Like hundreds of decades of existence of all these industries, some prolific film writers, prolific actors, directors, who are there in Indian film industry. How can suddenly be renounced?
So you're celebrating your 25 years,
yeah,
and it's a week after the stock hit an all-time high. How often do you check the stock price?
I was just telling you, massive fan of Sachin Tendulkar and so many others who look at the ball, and you have to make sure you don't get out, and you keep hitting it and then later on maybe you can take a quick look. Oh, I've got a 50 that I've made or a century I've made. I don't look at the scoreboard and then play cricket. So God is kind. If I'm running a listed company, I've got responsibilities to my shareholders. If I do a good job of getting the right revenues, satisfying the customer, basically taking care of my costs and my revenues, then obviously the results will be good. If the results are good, then it will have a positive impact on the stock. So I'm only focusing on how to make my customers happy, how to make a product which is acceptable to the people, and then results will come.
As a promoter, how conscious are you of delivering shareholder returns?
I have to be, because shareholders, it's not your fiefdom anymore. Most of the shares are held widely. Then there are some institutions which hold, and it's my responsibility to be the chairman and the managing director of the company to make sure that people are getting the returns. And as I said, it's not a difficult formula. The formula is focus on your business, focus on the quality of your offering, focus on your customers. So that's all I'm doing. I'm doing one thing, but doing it well, hopefully.
Well, looking at the stock price, it does seem like that, right?
Like I said,
You still haven't told me how often you check it. You gave it.
I just told you that once in a while I'll take a look.
What is once in a while?
Somebody will send me a message, oh, sir is doing well. I'll have a look.
Then you check it out.
You check it out. Maybe once every 10 days, 15 days, you take a look at it.
Once in 10, 15 days?
Yeah, take a look.
Okay, on that note, we're going to take a short commercial break, but stay tuned. You're watching this special episode, and we're bringing you with Ajay Bijli. Welcome back. You're watching this special episode here on ET Now. I'm Nayantara Rai in conversation with the big boss at PVR, who doesn't like labels, chairman and managing director of PVR. They're celebrating their 25 years. And we are today coming to you from the first ever PVR hall.
Yeah.
I remember it from the early 1990s. I've already said it looked nothing like this. I still can't get over it.
Thank you. It has to keep changing all the time.
Okay, so now you've given us a little bit about the immediate releases that you're excited about.
Yeah.
But you have another big one coming up, Brahmastra.
Yeah, Brahmastra. I'm heavily emotionally invested in that movie.
Well, your daughter is...
And I'm heavily biased about that movie because my daughter has been working on this for 6 years now. But Ayan, of course, is a director, prolific director. He did Wake Up Sid. He did Ye Jawani Hai Diwani. And this is another level altogether. And it's again a movie that is meant for the big screen because they spent a lot of money in the special effects and all that. And it's a story which looks quite exciting. It's a trilogy, and we look for movies like this to fill up the big screens. That's coming on 9th of September. We've got Avatar coming. We've got Mission, Impossible, part 1 of 2 movies that he's making, which is coming. Lots of films coming actually, Hindi, English. Vikram Veda, which is Hrithik and Saif's movie, which is a remake of a South Indian film, which is coming. So we've got a good lineup of movies. Looking forward to that.
You told me which is your favorite movie, which is going to be out soon, which is Brahmastra. Tell me which has been your favorite movie of late. That would be interesting to know.
Of late, yeah, it's a tough question because sometimes you enjoy more than one movie. But I found Coda very good. It was a movie that won the Oscar, but then it got overshadowed by that infamous Slapgate. It was a movie that was made by Apple, of very, very, very nice film. I really enjoyed that. I saw it about 4 times.
Yeah. I have to ask you this one question. I tried to ask you earlier as well. We touched upon it briefly. 25 years done. I asked you where you were, if it was going to be a movie. You said no, it would be a TV series, and it's only season 1 done. What can we expect in the next 2-3 seasons?
Well, as I said, India is still under-screened, and this is the only thing PVR is known for. So PVR must have the trajectory of building more cinemas in more places where an enhanced movie going experience is not there at different price points. So it's a heterogeneous market. It's not as if that one size fits all. So we have director's cut where we charge 1,500 rupees, full recliners, full service on the seats at one end.
And then it's 700 rupees on weekdays.
And and then we also have a 100 rupee and a 200 rupee offering in cities like Nanded, Ujjain, Aurangabad, Latur, so many places like that. So I think the idea is to come out with multiplex experience, enhanced movie going experience at every price point. So that's going to be our mainstay always, even in season 2 and season 3 of PVR. I also feel that the brand is now has got the equity to be known as a movie brand. It has potential to, we already do distribution, to stretch this brand equity more into other verticals of the movie business. It's got F&B is a big component of our revenues. Something can be done around F&B. We already have V cafes coming out. As I mentioned earlier, we got 100 million people visiting our cinemas. They do something before and after. F&B itself has become like a 1,500, crore business now. So it's a big business. There again, we believe we can do more. It's a big
contributor to your revenues and bottom line.
So the number of people who visit us and the brand equity that we build is going to, I think, through a lot of opportunities for us to create more verticals. So in season 2 and season 3, I think mainstay, just to summarize, continues to remain the exhibition business, but we can build an ecosystem of various things around movies and around the consumer that attracts, that comes to a 12 to 34. That's the bulk of the consumer. That could make the company a little more diversified into entertainment space, lifestyle space, food and beverage space, than only being an exhibition company.
Okay, so now we are at the single largest screen that you guys have, which is not an IMAX.
Yeah.
And this is where Aamir Khan is going to be here, part of the 25-year celebration.
Yeah, Aamir was here last night to show Lal Singh Chadda to a select few, and today is again coming. And we're very privileged that we've done the film together for the 25 years. So he's coming today, and yeah, it's exciting. This is our first property that we ever built, and we were keen to not compromise on the sound, the size of the screen. It's like a blockbuster cinema. So all our blockbuster films get played here, and they're only 52 weeks in a year. And every week or 2 weeks, some big movie comes, whether it's Hollywood, whether it's from down south, whether it's Hindi.
Okay.
And that's what we play here. We try to consciously play big screen movies here.
Okay, so it must be quite exciting for everybody around here to have celebrities also here so often.
Yeah, I mean, because that's the only way to position this, because multiplexes have a different role to play and single screens have a different role to play. In a multiplex, you can get away with programming which is mixed. because if one movie doesn't do well, the other one makes up for it. But in single screen, you're stuck to the movie that you play.
Yeah.
And which is the reason why,
So to draw the
sadly,
crowds there.
yeah, sadly, that's why the 1,000-seater cinemas and 1,100-seater cinemas don't do well, because it's difficult to get movies throughout the year which can fill up, 1,100 seats, 5 shows a day. That's a hell of a lot of capacity to fill up.
And this year you're planning to, I mean, what's in the pipeline is about 100 new cinemas?
125 screens.
125 screens, sorry. Yeah.
So they're under fit out in various stages of construction. Pune, Bangalore, about 3 in Bangalore. Pune is a big flagship one coming up in Hinjawadi. Down south in basically Hyderabad. Trivandrum, we're not there. We're with Lulu, a very big 12-screen complex coming up there. A 12-screen complex coming up in Lucknow, in Lulu Mall. All over the place. So about 125 odd screens.
And what will be the mix you would say that will be there in the tier 2, tier 3 cities? Because you said that's a big focus.
I think about 40% will be tier 2, tier 3 and 60% will be big cities. Because even the big cities are growing. You still have the place where we're opening is Kanakpura in Bangalore. That's another catchment which is coming up. Hinjawadi is another catchment which is coming up in Pune. So even these cities are expanding. New retailers are coming. IKEA has announced it's coming to India. So we're with them in a couple of projects. New malls are coming, new formats are coming. So I think, and PVR just gets involved in all that.
You said the F&B business is about 1,500 crores now.
Yeah.
So how do you still react to criticism about the popcorn, the candy, the drinks here being too expensive, the snacks, the food?
You see, expense is a function of quality, So I think when people feel that they're happy with what they're getting, then they don't complain. But at the same time, I've always maintained that it's not necessary to have. We're not forcing anybody. It's
no,
like you buy a ticket and then you come. But it's the whole environment which gets created. I mean, I don't want to use the word. There's an infrastructure around what we are selling. So earlier what used to happen is a single screen used to have one projection room, one sound system. Foyers never used to be air conditioned, and the auditoriums used to be air conditioned. Toilets were never air conditioned. That's happened in the very recent memory. I ran single screens from 88 to 90 Priya. Suddenly multiplexes came. The capex went 4 to 6 times. In the same square footage of say 20,000, 6 screens got incorporated, 6 projection systems, 6 sound systems. Air conditioning everywhere, people, quality, another level. So I think the infrastructure cost is such to run OPEX and CAPEX. Plus you need to be in CBD areas. Earlier you used to have...
Central business districts.
Yeah, so earlier you used to have cinemas which were owned by mom and pop or pop and son, or mom and son or mom and daughter. And therefore no notional value of the real estate used to be taken. Now you lease spaces from the malls. So there's a rental cost which is never there.
Overheads have
So I think the overall, but what has happened is I don't blame the consumers for, saying things the way you're saying, that this is expensive, that is expensive. But
especially when inflation is there as well.
Yeah, because the format has changed. So in the very recent memory only the single screens were there. You don't get this kind of decibel level internationally because multiplexes have been around for a much longer period of time. It's still a new phenomena. So we're still in a transitionary phase where we still have 5,000 single screens and we have 3,000 new build screens. So the comparison is very stark. But if you look at their infrastructure cost, OPEX and CAPEX, it's nothing compared to the CAPEX and OPEX of a multiplex. So that's the difference. But God is kind, as I said. The fact that 100 million people came to the cinemas, touchwood, is testimony to the fact that if you're doing a very, very bad job, then they wouldn't have
be
come.
Coming.
If we did not have the kind of F&B sales that we get, if you're doing something incorrect, then again we would have not got these kind of sales. So overall, by and large, people are happy with the quality of the offering, the quality of the experience, and that's why we are where we are. As simple as that.
Okay, now I want to ask you something. How do you see the movie experience going forward? Like, how do you see it evolving, innovating?
I think it needs to be highly, highly experiential. If you remember, a few minutes ago you asked me this question about different channels of movie watching, which can be Netflix, it can be Amazon, it can be whatever, Sony, Disney. That's one way of watching a movie, okay, sitting at home and watching. And I also watch, everybody watches, because we are not just doing one thing, we do multiple things. So that's, but once you get out of your house, you park the car, you make a plan with your friends, and or your family, decide which show, which auditorium, then they need a massive reason to go out and watch the movie on the big screen. Therefore, we need to make it very experiential. When I say experiential, then the screen
because
size.
it's not it's like, I know we talked about expenses, but it's not a cheap experience. It sets you back a couple of
Yeah, it depends on what you're comparing it with. Okay, it depends on what you it's still very, very affordable out of home entertainment compared to other out of home entertainments. But what I'm saying is that you're asking what should we need to do. So we cannot compromise on the experience. We cannot compromise on the sound of the projections, sound of the audio system, whether it's Dolby Atmos or whatever. You need to have laser projection system. You have big screens. You need to have very clean, neat cinemas. You need to have people from hospitality. Most of our staff is from hospitality, who understand how to treat the customer. If all these things, they have to bring a smile to your face. I can't control what's happening on the screen, the content, because some people may like the movie, some people may not like the movie. It's a subjective issue. I can only control the experience. So I think more and more we push the envelope on experience. So this is PXL, IMAX is an experience, 3D is an experience, 4DX is an experience. We have Playhouses, which is an experience. Gold Class is an experience, Lux is an experience, Director's Cut is an experience. F&B that we offer in sushi and all that sort of stuff is an experience. So I think if we keep pushing the envelope of experiential movie watching and movie going, then we'll keep on differentiating ourselves from other forms of watching movies, and people will keep coming out.
What about new technology? Doesn't just necessarily, I'm talking about sound over here, or you know, the pixels, etc. But just innovation, which could be with virtual reality, etc. So much is being said about that.
All is in the offing. Some experiments haven't done well, but 3D is a big leap forward. 3D in India does exceedingly well because the glasses have become lighter, the quality is better. Earlier there used to be a lot of brightness loss, which is not happening anymore. There's something that we're introducing called Iss Cinemas very shortly, where not only you'll have a movie on the in front of you, even the side panels will light up if an action scene is going on. VR experiments are happening. In fact, I just saw a documentary of 20 minutes on India-Pakistan partition from the eyes of a 7-year-old on both sides. Excellent. So that was a very good experiment wearing Oculus. That's going to happen. There were queues in BFI. My daughter and my son were involved, and I went with them just now. So that's going to happen now. So I think sound, projection system, and the way you watch movies, the seating, everything, a lot of work relentlessly is being done all over the world to make sure the experience improves.
And the future is not necessarily always the fancy recliner seats, because you have to be at all price points. Because you have to convince people to come out for...
So it's very simple. India is not a heterogeneous market. It's a disparate market. So the idea of PVR was always to get people from every walk of life to come. So, you know, that's why I said that our ticket price is, we've just declared our results, is 250 rupees. Our ATP is 250. But I talk to somebody like you, I talk to somebody in Bombay who lives in Juhu, or I talk to somebody who lives in Worli, he'll say 700. I said, yeah, for you it is 700, but not for the people, because I am in the most expensive real estate. Can I talk to you about the price of your apartment where you're living? I'm not questioning that. So therefore, what happens is that recliner is only for those consumers who've got a home theater at home, who are living in big homes, who don't want to get out because they can watch the... So for them, I have to say, what can I do to get them? Let me get Chef Saito to make bento boxes. Let me get Mayank to do this. Let me, you know, give them hospitality. Make the screens very big. Don't make the screens what they can have in the basement of their home theaters. Make the sound projection quality very good.
Make it what they want.
It's for them. Then I've got other solutions, as I said, for so many places that we've opened. That's also PVR experience, but that's at about 150, 200 rupees. I'm not compromising on the seats. If you look at these are normal seats. But even if you go to any property now, you will find that the seats are super comfortable. So there's an 1100 millimeter to 570 millimeter legroom seat width that we've decided. We will not go below that.
Are you perfectionist? Do you do surprise checks at any of the cinemas? I'm
guilty of not doing that many. My brother is very good at it, and now my son is getting very good at it. My son will enter from the back. He doesn't enter, he looks at the back. I'm guilty of not making that many trips. I keep going to my favorite cinemas a lot, which are convenient. But I should be doing that more.
Is it always up to the notch when you make these surprise
I'm the most
visits?
restless person watching a movie. because I always think something is not right. So I am a very bad customer of my own cinemas. I always take the corner seat. So
as I come to the end of this interview, I wanted to end it on a personal note.
Yeah.
You know, so outside of COVID, which is obviously your darkest hour.
Yeah.
What was the second toughest moment for you that you had to tackle?
I mean, this COVID was not my darkest hour, personally speaking, because, you know, my family was with me. I was counting my blessings because I realized that you can't take a one-dimensional view of life, that if a business goes down, obviously it hit me like a body blow when everything came down, revenues were zero. But I became very close to my children. I became very close to myself, so I was quite happy with what came out of it. And I'm glad business has also bounced back, of course. But darkest hour, of course, was my dad passing away when I was only 25 years old. And that was the biggest body blow I've had so far. So 92, I was 25 years old and I was still running the trucking company. I just opened Priya 2 years and I hadn't even given one houseful show.
How did you guys get in the movie business?
Father had acquired this property in 1972. So that's the time.
Yeah, and then you took over in the 90s.
I took over in 88, 89 after finishing college.
Okay. With that, Ajay Bijli, thank you so much for giving us this interview. Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.